There are some cars that are good, some that are even great, but then there's cars that just boggle the mind. Let me introduce you to the BMW 435D and inform you on why I think this is the best bang for buck diesel coupe on the market. My name's Tom and you're watching Paragon Cars. Let's go. Two turbos, 6 cylinders and 630 Nm of torque is all you really need to hear to raise an eyebrow or two. But mention the fact it's all-wheel drive, does 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds and can still do north of 55 miles per gallon, you'll have people wondering how on earth that's even possible. Well, thanks to BMW and the slightly deranged engineers that work there, it is. That's right. The BMW 435D puts out 630 Nm of torque and 313 horsepower to all four wheels via a ZF 8-speed transmission. And it's quick, really quick. Let's do the 30 to 70 sprint so I can show you what I mean. Do you see that? We managed 4.05 seconds. Now, just think about that for a second. That's faster than a Volkswagen Golf R, Mercedes A45 AMG, Audi S3, and well, yeah, most hot hatches. I don't know about you, but to be as fast as cars like that, yet still achieve fuel economy figures akin to a diesel Ford Focus is just nuts in my opinion. What a machine. Now then, if you want to see the interior of the BMW 4 Series, then follow the link up in the top right hand corner. As for now though, let's get driving. Oh, it is good to be back in a Beamer, and what a Beamer it is. 435D and 335D are both legendary cars, and there's only one reason for that really, and that is this unholy engine. This thing is insane, and yep, obviously it's got over 300 horsepower, but it's the torque, the 630 Nm of torque. That's more than an M3, by the way, that comes in at 1500 RPM. This thing is a beast. In fact, it actually feels quicker than an M3 in daily life because A, it's X-Drive, and B, it's got that aforementioned torque. This one is particularly nice as well, actually. We've done just over 70,000 miles, which most people would maybe, turn their nose up at. But yeah, these engines are pretty much bulletproof as long as you service them properly, and it still feels just as smooth as butter. In fact, this has actually got a full BMW service history as well. So if you guys want to have a look at it on the website, I'll put a link in the description below. And you know what? I'll actually put a link in the top right hand corner. If there isn't a link, then the car's already sold. Sorry, but you missed it. Anyway, let's crack on. Oh, this is nice to drive as well. The steering is a bit strange though. X-Drive cars, obviously you've got more going on, more connected to the front wheels, so it does feel a little bit more numb than just your regular rear-wheel drive Beamer, but it's still better than an Audi. And you know what, this thing is lovely to drive. It is buttery smooth. Oh, it's just so nice. Parking these things as well, this 4 Series, you've got nice long doors, so visibility is pretty good. Wing mirrors give you a good amount of visibility. I'd say Audi are just a little bit better, but yeah, 90% of the time this thing is easy to drive. You've got parking sensors front and rear, and once you're in a space, even though you've got long doors, this is still a fairly skinny car in the grand scheme of things, so getting out in one go is as easy as cake. Steering's nice and light. You don't get the M Sport steering, so you've still got, I think it's like 2.5 turns lock to lock, so it's not quite the 2 turns lock to lock that something like an M140i has, but it's still very nice. Anyway, let's turn start stop off and I can demonstrate just how quick this thing is coming out of a corner. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And yep, you can see by the fact my head went back that this thing is an absolute missile. And it's like this unwavering level of acceleration. It just keeps going like a frickin' freight train. So fast. Right, MPG. In terms of MPG, BMW say on the combined cycle you'll get 48 to 50.4 miles per gallon out of this thing, which is already a very good figure. However, this engine is known to do a bit more than its quoted figures in terms of acceleration and fuel economy. I've seen upwards of 60 miles per gallon in some of these cars, which is frankly just nuts. Today we're going to try it out on the M25, see if we can get at least 50. We are running a front splitter and a rear spoiler, which does affect your fuel economy a little bit, but hopefully we can still put up some good numbers. As usual though, before we get on the motorway, we're going to get the traction control off and see how this thing handles. Let's go have some fun. Right then, Sports Plus, gearbox into Sports. This will downshift a couple of gears. We'll make the steering slightly heavier as well. I'm going to go for manual. And the best thing about Sports Plus is it turns the traction control off but leaves the stability control on. So you can have a bit of fun without killing yourself. Right, second gear. This thing makes a lot of power up top, even though it's a diesel. Let's give it some. Whee! My goodness, it's so fast. It's just brutal, this thing. The response as well for a diesel. Like, even at 3,500 revs, like 50 miles an hour here, plant your foot, revs all the way to 5,000. And it feels like it accelerates like a petrol car. It's crazy. Absolutely ballistic. ZF 8-speed gearbox as well is just chef's kiss. Gear changes in this thing are just so fast for a torque converter. I mean, there's been journalists that have driven BMWs with the ZF 8-speed gearbox and genuinely thought it's a dual clutch car. Like, if you look at reviews from I think they're like 2015, some of them like mistakenly say it's a dual clutch gearbox. It's quite funny, really. Right, let's now go into eco and see what kind of economy we can manage on the motorway, because even though this is a fast car, it's still a very efficient car. And if you're doing a lot of motorway miles, which, you know, if you are, this kind of car is for you, it should hopefully do very good fuel economy. Let's sit in traffic for a bit though, get on the motorway and see what this thing's like. Right, before we sit in eco mode for a long time, I just want to show you one thing that makes this car unbelievably nice to drive, and that is that low down torque. So sitting at 1500 revs, I'm going to go for manual actually just to demonstrate it. Fifth gear, 40 miles an hour, plant your foot, and look at that. It's just insane how fast this thing picks up speed. You can be at like 1,000 RPM and it accelerates like it's at 3,000 RPM. Good lord, so freaking fast, man. Alright, into eco. Still want start stop off because we hate that. Then once you're on the motorway, cruise control on 70 miles an hour. And yeah, it's just a lovely barge. It's got lots of insulation as well, even though this isn't something like a 6 Series. It's still very quiet on the motorway. Very little road noise, very little wind noise. You know, we're sitting on 19-inch wheels, which for this class of car is actually smaller than you can get now. So, yeah, smaller wheels, less road noise, and pretty much zero wind noise actually, which is nice. You've got a nice smooth coupe body shape. So yeah, very little wind noise. And it's just wonderful. The suspension, even though this isn't the best suspension in the world, you know, it's a little bit bouncy sometimes, it's still very comfortable, and you can happily do 12 hours in this thing. You know, this car's got electric seats as well that are heated, and yeah, it's just wonderful. Visibility on the motorway also very good, because obviously this is a coupe, so you can see out the side of the car really well, and you can check your blind spot very easily as well. The wing mirrors, fantastic. They've got this little curved bit of glass at the side, so you can see in your blind spot very easily. And yeah, it's just an easy car to drive. It doesn't tramline at all, even though you've got fairly positive steering. And by that I mean, if there's a dip in the road, the steering doesn't hunt for it. You know, it's not trying to find dips in the road. It's just a wonderful thing. One thing I love as well is this little storage cubby down here. You can put your sunglasses in there, put loads of stuff in there really. And you know what, interior wise, it's actually alright. You know, it's not the most modern looking thing, but you can get Apple CarPlay coded into these. And the general quality is very good. I have to say, the Harman Kardon sound system is brilliant in these. Well worth the upgrade. Also, seating position, it's a BMW, so it's just bang on. It's just like perfect, absolutely perfect. You've even got this little extendable bit for your thigh, so you can get some more leg support. And of course, you can adjust the pitch of the base of the seat, which I will do now. Also, you've got adjustable bolsters, so if you're doing some faster driving, maybe on a track, then yeah, you're not going to get chucked out your seat, basically. Anyway, let's go for the long stint on the motorway now, and then cut and see what kind of MPG figure we have managed. So what did we manage? We did 47.8, 47.9, and now 48 MPG. That is crazy, and the figure's still going up. This thing will easily do over 50 MPG on a long journey. And the thing is, we were sitting at 70 miles an hour with the cruise control on. Now, as some of you may know, cruise control uses just a little bit more fuel than if you were just driving yourself, because it doesn't react to any traffic, so it's using the brakes to keep you at 70 miles an hour if you're going downhill. But yeah, I mean, proof's in the pudding. This thing is fantastic on motorway journeys. Saves you money, and when you plant your foot, it's absolutely rapid. Right, let's take this thing to a B road now and have some proper fun, shall we? Right then, back in Sports Plus. That means traction control is off. Manual gearbox. Let's see what kind of shapes we can cut with this thing. It's just such a beast. Even though it's a diesel, it just sounds powerful. In terms of handling, yeah, it's not a proper M car, but it's still a BMW. So it's still a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so fast. Quicker than a stock Golf R. That's all you need to know. And that thing is rapid from 30 to 70 miles an hour. 4.05 seconds was the time this put in, and that's just... it's just nuts. It's just nuts for a diesel. It's so freaking quick. Brakes, these are brand new brakes on this, so yeah, not the best feel in the world, but they do work. And they do work well. Right, let's do a little sound check actually, because it's 6 cylinders. Yeah, do you know what? I think if you had quite a well thought out exhaust on this thing, it would actually sound quite cool. You'd certainly get a lot of turbo noise if you got an air filter. It's just the in-gear. Right, what lane does this guy want? It's just the in-gear acceleration though that's just mental. Like, I can go from 5th from 40, plant my foot, and watch how quickly we get to 70 miles an hour. Barely hit 3,000 revs and already at 70. It's just nuts. It is just nuts. I want to try it in 8th gear actually, so let's slow down to 50 again. Plant my foot. Boost is already there. It's just crazy. That was actually in 7th gear, sorry. Still crazy though. And yeah, front end holds on for a while. Being X-Drive, if you do want to actually go quickly and not just do silly stuff like I do, you can actually do that. My God. It's weird though, it's like when you change from 4th to 5th, You get a shove in the back and it just goes quicker. Not quite as quick as that Porsche though. That's a turbo. Even though this thing's fast, that is faster. And also potentially breaking the speed limit. But yeah, this thing is just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, steering, it's okay. It's got a nice weight to it. It's fairly positive, but it does feel very electronic. By that I mean you don't get a lot of texture through the road, so like when you go over bumps you don't really feel it through the steering wheel. But the thing is, this is a daily driver at the end of the day. You don't necessarily want that, I don't think. But you can still get a fair old lick on. Look at that, 5,000 revs! And it doesn't run out of puff, ever! It's just crazy! But even if you rev this thing all the way out to the red line, it just feels like it has power everywhere. I mean, peak power in this car doesn't come into 4,400 RPM. That's high for a diesel. That's mainly because it's twin turbo, but it accelerates like a petrol car does. Oh, this thing makes me do naughty things. It's very good fun. Yeah, suspension wise, if you get it a little bit sideways, it does do the little wobbly thing that softer sprung cars do, but it's still very easily controllable. It's just so much fun, honestly. This thing is just nuts. It's like the most understated car as well. Like, a normal person that's not really into cars will look at this and go, oh, that's a nice BMW. Little do they know, with a stage 1 engine map, you're doing like 4 seconds 0 to 60, easily above 155 miles an hour. And you just got 2 little exhausts on the back, and that's it. And you can still do 50 miles per gallon in it. It defies the laws of physics, this thing. It really does. You know, if I didn't have a petrol car, or I'll tell it like this, if I had to get a diesel, it's going to be one of these, because I like the looks of this and it's just so quick. It might be the newer 4 Series maybe, or maybe M340D, but it's definitely going to be something with this engine in it. N57 or B57 all day long. And being X-Drive, it's like still fun, but you just know that it would still work well in winter. Oh. Talking about X-Drive, actually, where it is good is down smaller British speed roads, so let's go to one now, and I can show you what I mean. I love this car. Right, small B road now. Foot down. Whoa! God, so fast. It's just the amount of torque that it has. Just really have you watch your speed in this thing. See, I can't even talk. Over bumps like that, pretty good, fairly composed. I mean, you just know what the car is doing. Doesn't feel like a full M car, but it's still plenty of fun. Get on the brakes, whack it in, foot down, and look how it comes out of corners. It's like a Nissan GTR. Good lord. Yep, you're getting away from pretty much anything down there. Right then, can we hit 60 before the corner? Let's go! Of course we can. Feels like it has boost by gear, this actually. 3rd gear feels almost pretentious. It's a stomach churner, that's for sure. Yeah, so when you're going very quickly, the suspension does start to lose a bit of composure, I must say. But you're never going to have an accident unless you're a temporal driver. Oh my lord. God, it's aggressive. Very aggressive. Right, let's start from 3rd this time. One last time down here. Look, we're sitting at 1500 revs, foot down, boost comes in. Oh my god, it's a freaking missile. Do you know what, actually, I quite like the suspension because it's a bit comfier than the full M Sport one. Oh my word, what a machine. And 35.8 mpg still. If this was my 140i, this would be doing 18 down here now. I mean, look, just leave this thing in Sports Plus all day long, still going to get a good economy figure, and you've just got boost everywhere. They should have called this thing BMW Airlines. It genuinely is just like insane. So if you couldn't tell already, this thing is absolutely worth the money. If you're looking for a diesel, I think just like, if you're looking for an efficient car, 335D, 435D if you want a coupe, done. That's it. It's literally just that. It drives amazingly well, it's comfortable, it's not too big, yet it's not too small that you feel like you're kind of tiny on the motorway. It's quiet as well. It's just, you know, tuning potential. There's that also. Just crazy. You can get silly power figures out of this thing. You know, more torque than the ZF 8-speed gearbox can handle, basically. Just absolutely nuts. And it's a diesel. What's not to love? Well, I'm going to go and redigest my lunch now. So if you enjoyed this content, please give it a like, and why not subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale, which as usual includes the car in the video. This is a stunning BMW 435D. It's got a full BMW service history, brand new brakes on the front. It's actually got spaces on it as well, which, you know, I'm not usually a massive fan of, but I do quite like them on this. I think because it's X-Drive, it kind of just feels quite tied together, which is nice. And you just have a slightly wider road holding, so a bit more grip on the front end. And yeah, it's just a lovely car. Again, link will be in the description below. If it's not, the car has sold, in which case you can follow the generic link to our website, where you can see loads of other stuff that we have for sale. And hopefully another one of these, because they are awesome. I can't praise these cars enough. They really are some of the best cars on the market. Anyway, my name's Tom, and you've been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.